The new USCIS fees are going into effect soon. So what do you need to know and how will it impact you? In this video, we'll be covering all of the new fees, which we'll break down by form, in addition to the official date when these fees will go into effect. And make sure to watch until the end because submitting incorrect filing fees will cause your application to be rejected, which will waste weeks of your time. If you're new to this channel, welcome. On this channel, we help ambitious professional couples handle their own marriage green card without hiring a lawyer, while avoiding all of the mistakes we've made. Our immigration journey was prolonged by quite a bit of time, so yours doesn't have to. Now, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is moving forward with a significant fee increase for various immigration applications. This change represents the first major fee adjustment since 2016 and addresses the agency's operational and financial challenges. This increase has substantial implications, particularly for family-based immigration applicants who are among the most affected in the categories. Now, we're going to break down the over 70% increase in filing fees, giving you the new total as well as the individual prices for each required form so you can apply with the current prices. But first, we need to cover some important errors you need to avoid so you don't end up paying the increased fees. What do I mean exactly? For example, let's say you applied before the date of the new increased fees. However, you used Form G-1450 to authorize the USCIS to use your credit card to pay for the current filing fees. But then, when the USCIS finally went to process your fees, your bank flagged the transaction as fraudulent and the transaction failed. This is a very common thing that happens, which is why we have the members of our marriage immigration method pay by cashier's check so the funds are guaranteed. Well, when the transaction fails, the USCIS is forced to reject your case. This means that you will end up waiting sometimes more than a month for the USCIS to send your case back to you. From there, you'll have to resubmit your case and have the USCIS process the filing fees again. Depending on when you filed and when you received your application packet back and resubmit it again, you may be submitting it after the effective date for the new filing fees. Meaning, a simple mistake like this means you now have to pay the increased filing fees even though you initially submitted everything on time. That's why it's so important now more than ever to prepare an application that gets accepted on the first try. This means even if you do hire a lawyer, you're going to want to double and even triple check their work to ensure that you don't have to pay more than you need to. So here's a list of errors to watch out for to make sure your case gets accepted on the first try and generally doesn't get delayed even when accepted. First, like we already briefly discussed, not including the correct filing fee or using an unacceptable payment method. Second, submitting outdated or incorrect forms. The USCIS frequently updates its forms, so it's essential to use the latest versions. Failing to fill out the forms completely. Every applicable question should be answered, even with it not applicable, if necessary. But keep in mind that not every question on the forms should be answered, since some of the forms are used by many different processes, and answering a question meant for someone, for example, applying for asylum, is an issue. Fourth, failing to include all required supporting documents such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, financial records, and proof of the petitioner's citizenship with each form that requires it. Fifth, not providing sufficient evidence of financial support. The petitioner must meet certain income requirements and submit Form I-864. Sixth, making errors in critical biographic information such as names, dates, and places. Even small errors can lead to significant delays. That's especially something to look out for if you're using an attorney or form preparer. And seventh, not providing enough evidence to demonstrate that the marriage is genuine and not entered into for the purpose of obtaining an immigration benefit. Make sure to keep all of these potential errors in your mind as you prepare your application or as you review your attorney's work so you don't delay your case or be forced to resubmit after the increased fees go into effect. So now, the moment you've been waiting for. When will you be required to pay the new filing fees? On April 1st, 2024, which means from when we posted this video, you've got a little over 3 weeks to get your application filed to avoid paying the new filing fees. And that's great news considering the members of our marriage immigration method, on average, prepare successful applications that get accepted by the USCIS on the first try in less than 3 weeks. One member even prepared their whole case in 3 days. Don't waste any more time and schedule a free strategy session with us using the link in the description and in the comments section today. Just know we accept a limited number of new members each month to ensure the highest level of support possible. By now, you're probably wondering what the new fees will be. In order to find that, we've included a link in the description. But currently, the total filing fees for a marriage adjustment of status are $1,760. This fee includes Forms I-130 and I-45 with application of your travel document and work permits being free. However, with the new filing fees going into effect on April 1st, the travel document and work permit applications will no longer be free. The travel document, Form I-131, will now cost $630. The work permit, Form I-765, will now cost $520. That is, unless you're filing it together with Form I-45. In that case, it'll cost $260. Form I-130, if filing online, will cost $625, and if filing on paper will cost $675. Despite a $50 savings to file online, we always recommend our members to apply on paper. You can find out exactly why we believe paper filing is better and less risky by watching our video breaking it down here. And finally, Form I-45 will soon cost $1,440, up from $1,225. Although it doesn't seem significant, the fact that the USCIS will now charge for both work and travel permits does make this increase substantial. All in all, there are two new prices for filing for your marriage green card application. Option 1, if you file everything together, the cost will increase from $1,760 to $3,005, making this an over 70% increase. And option 2, if you pass on applying for your travel permit, the total fees will be $2,375. Making this about a 35% increase in total. Try to get your case filed as soon as possible while making sure it's quality to avoid paying these new additional fees. Good luck, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, click the bell, and we look forward to seeing you next time.